Unbound. Uh, Before I started going on my next rant, just came from Dead by Daylight. Before I started going on my next rant, I'm like, let me switch games. Uh, so the rant. Here's what kicks off the rant. We need to normalize dating in separate houses. Moving in is more for marriage. How do you feel about that? Personally, I disagree. The reason being is personal space. You find out how people were raised once you share personal space. It's easy for a person to keep a mask, a facade, when you two aren't together. You know, be like, yeah, you know, fine to jump through the ear gate. I didn't do that, but it's easy for a person to put on a facade. Like, yeah, this is me. And then when you get with them, or, you know, you get to live with them, like, that is nothing, that is not you. So, I personally think you should live together. Before you get married. Gotta know who you living with. Gotta know who you living with. Just is what it is there. For example, like, they're so full of energy in life. Find out they're doing coke at home before they come see you. You know? Just there's certain things you don't find out until you live with the person. So, you should live with a person. Just like you don't know if a person snores until y'all sleep in the same bed. You don't know if every night a person might fucking eat a pound of ribs in the bed and use their bed sheet as a fucking sheet. You know, you might live with a person that kissed their dog in the mouth. People do it. That's why I don't date people with pets. People do weird ass shit with their pet. People do weird ass shit with their pet. You know? Every night, as part of their bed ritual, they might play the congos naked. The bongos. I said the congos. bongos naked every night. So now every night, while you in bed trying to go to sleep, somebody playing the thing naked. The bongos naked. Mama said, Mama said, I'm a Makusa, right? You just never know shit until you live with a person. You know? And even then, you still don't know the person you live with sometimes fully. Because some people are weird. They don't want you to know they're weird. So they hide their weird. Like, when she sleep at your house, she might keep on her wig. She might keep on her makeup. You live with her. Like, ugh, bitch. I gotta sleep next to you every night. Take off that makeup. Wrap her hair up. Put on that face mask. Let it all hang loose. Like, ugh. You at your leisure is not attractive. You know? I tell you no lies. No, and that's just from a male's perspective. You know? Find out every night when she say her prayers, she prays to Satan. Like, whoa. Find out she can't clean. It only look clean because she clean it for when you get there. You know? She cleaning because she's having company. Not because she want to clean. So now that you're no longer company, she don't clean shit. Or heat. You know that home cooked meal that she made for you the other day? When she invited you over? It wasn't home cooked. That shit was Uber Eats. Put in the oven to stay warm. I suggest living with a person. Because dating a person and living with a motherfucker is two different things. Like, I once lived with a woman and the way she kept the fucking bathroom disgusting to me. It's fucking disgusting. You know, I once lived with a woman who was like, her cleaning habits were not up to par for me. It's different. It's just different. Like, when's the last time you cleaned shit, bitch? No, I had to do all the cleaning. Cause bitch just didn't clean. Gotta go. Don't clean. Clean up his fucking bathroom. It's just, ugh. Disgusting. You know, and I'm a firm believer of like people don't move on your time. You know, I believe that people don't move on your time. But like, bitch, how is no time in your time to clean? You ain't got a time in to clean. You don't got a set day. You don't be like, oh, it's my off day. You know, let me spruce up. Let me do this. Like, bitch, you just don't clean. One time I just let the shit sit. And you're gonna see how long it take you to fucking clean. No, I ain't gonna say shit. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Here's the rope to hang yourself. Disgusting. Motherfuckers know once I start moving though, fuck out my way. Everybody sit the fuck down, stay where the fuck you at. I suggest you get your snacks now, whatever the fuck it is. Cause I'm on the warpath. You get in my way, your ass. Off with their head. Off with their fucking heads. Fuck you doing moving around while I'm clean? You ain't want to clean shit. You don't move around today.
All units, I think we have ourselves a racer here.
Yeah, I just saw that on Facebook though. Should people move in together? And I'm all like, you should. Know who the fuck you're living with. Just might not be able to live with a motherfucker. Think I'm gonna make it? Nope. Might not be able to live with a motherfucker. You might not even be able to look at a motherfucker once they're at their leisure. Just a motherfucker at their leisure might make you like, ugh. I gotta look at that the rest of my life. You know what? This ain't gonna work. Like personally, I don't like a non-active one. You know why? Because baby, I'm a firm believer in feed the beast. I'm a firm believer in feed the beast. We all got a beast inside us that bubble up from time to time for no fucking reason. Whether it's boredom, whether it's, you know, the lack of attention. Whatever the fuck the reason is, we all got a beast inside us that's like you're not you when you're hungry. You know? Gotta break it down to a kid for most people. Have you ate? Have you slept? Do you need attention? You know, if not, you're just bored. You know, you want some dick? If not, go find a way to entertain your fucking self. You know, are you hungry? Do you need to be? Do you need attention and affection? Are you sleeping? That's what it breaks down to. And if none of those work, it's because you need to be active. You're too idle. You're bored. You know, so a woman that don't stay active don't work for me, because when people get in their mood, you know, first thing I'm gonna do is feed you. You hungry? And I'm gonna need you to stay active, because I don't want no fat woman. You gonna be mad? Why you don't ever take me out to eat anymore? Why you don't buy me my favorite food? Bitch, you got fat. And as long as I'm controlling the food, you're on a diet. You're on a diet. That's why, fellas, I'm a firm advocate of cooking. Learn how to fucking cook, fellas. If she get fat, it's your fault. You get fat, it's your fault. Because you could control the meals. Motherfuckers start getting chunky, start making less food. Now, oh, sorry, baby, there is no leftovers. Like, damn. She want to be a fatty, make fatty. She gonna get her fat ass up and go find some snacks. Make sure there's no snacks in the house. If there's snacks, they're healthy. Learn how to control the food. You control the food, you control her weight. Control her weight. She might be a little soft, but she won't get fat. First and foremost, do your preemptive work from the jump. You know? That's how I feel. Learn how to cook, fellas. Because nobody wants to be told they're getting fat. Nobody. Man, woman, child. Just gonna take it nicely. No matter how truthful it is. Yeah. So learn how to cook, motherfuckers. Control the diet. But that's my first thing. Hey, baby. You seem to be a little moody. What you want to eat? Secondly, come cuddle with me. I'll give you a little bit of affection. Let me burp you. No. If that don't work, you need to be rubbed on. You want some head? Like I said, dude, you want some head. Go get my head, baby. You know? And if not, you just need to go find something to entertain yourself at this point. Right, go take a nap. Here, food, nut, nap. If you wake up with the same shitty attitude, your ass for the street. Fuck out my face. Right, there ain't nothing to complain about outside of just wanting to complain. Right, what you want to do is, right, what you want to do, you gotta find a way to entertain yourself. Fellas, if she don't have a hobby, she might not game, like I game. You know, gaming is me all day. She might not game. She don't read books. Yeah, you know, have a way to entertain herself. Leave it. She ain't gonna do shit to stress you out. Or she for the street. Because the only thing that's going to entertain her is being in the street. She can't find her peace and solace inside the house. She's for the street. She ain't got nothing in the house to keep her content. That means everything she needs is outside the house. She's for the streets, big dog. Right. If a motherfucker can't be content in the house, that's why I game. To keep me content in the house. If I get too claustrophobic or feel like I'm locked up, I go exercise, I go hoop, ride my bike. You know? By the time I'm done, I'm ready to come in the house, get cleaned up and laid up. Alright, if she leave out the house and it ain't to exercise, burn off energy for the boredom. For the streets, man. She ain't gonna do nothing but go spend money and be in niggas' face all day. Right? First thing she gonna do is go shop. Maybe. You didn't need that. I know, but I was bored. No. Take your ass to work and put in some extra hours or something, man. If you want to spend this money, go put in some fucking extra hours at the job. Bring you some extra money. And that's just the way I operate, to be honest. Sugar Rush. Isn't that the name from Wreck-It Ralph? The name of the race thing from Wreck-It Ralph? So, I'm about to fuck your heads up. Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope. Can they last as a couple or not? They're digital constructs that never age. So, the normal rules of age don't apply. They don't age. They have no age. They're ageless. They're immortals, except if they're caught outside their game, right? And the game is shut off. They have no age. Are they allowed to have a relationship? Not an adult though. They're not adults. They're avatars.
All units, think we have ourselves a racer here.
What you think, officer? Come here. Come answer my goddamn question. Don't you run off on me. Like, nope, I don't want no parts of that. You know, when concept of age don't apply. Is it possible? Is it plausible? How do you all feel about it? Right? Concept of age don't apply. That's like saying Shaq shouldn't date Hoops because Hoops is short. Compared, she has the body of a child. Shouldn't fuck a midget. Right? How do you feel about fucking midgets? Little people. But they don't have the concept of age in Wreck-It Ralph. How old is Pac-Man? Is Pac-Man as old as his digital avatar or as old as his game? Pac-Man don't have a fucking age. That's because you don't want to think about it. Like, I don't want to put too much thought into it. Lie, you dickhead. Right. Compared. So what is Pac-Man's age? Be like, nobody questioned how old Miss Pac-Man was. Like, they're just fucking digital dots.
Dispatch patrol is on the scene and ready to help rid the streets of this punk.
Right?
Excellent work, team.
For all we know, they could be the fucking Lollipop Guild.
They took us out.
So, that's not a good day. Might be a star game.
That jump was pathetic.
No, just because you don't want to have the conversation don't mean there aren't interesting conversations to be had.
Calling all cars. Interceptors on the scene. Bad news, dispatch. We're on the chase.
Ah,
Do you know how to drive?
ask your mama because I drive her crazy with this dick.
We want a piece of the pie, dispatch.
That's the spicy pizza pie. Okay, so is the moon flat or round?
Airback doesn't give a damn who he is.
Is the okay? So, dumbass question, right? Trick question, because of course it's round. Is the moon flat or spherical shaped? That's the question. Because of course it's round. Fuck, it's a burst meter.
Gonna take more than that to escape me.
Right? You can't tell if it's a sphere or not. Because there's nothing to give it depth. It looks flat. I already came up with a theory for both flat earthers and our globe people to win. Take a quarter, stand it vertically. Spin it on its axis. Watch that flat quarter, which is a round object, look like a sphere due to the spinning. Don't spin it flat. Talking about, I don't see it. Spin it on its axis. Stand it vertically up and spin it. Watch it turn into a globe. Or watch it look like a globe. Just because we see a globe shape don't mean that it's not flat. It is spinning, the earth is spinning on its axis, right? Whee!
Damn, this racer can really drive that thing.
So both people can win. Sorry, buddy. Ah, you jerk. Ah, you jerk. Right? Both people could be right. But no, nobody wants to find a middle ground. Everybody wants to be fucking right.
That was kind of cool, y'all.
Versus finding a plausible answer, right? You're like, okay, we can agree to disagree, and here's how we can agree to disagree. Ah. And that's basically mankind and humanity. I love whoever wrote that line for Tommy Lee Jones. Like, people are dumb. A person is smart. People are dumb. They panic. They can't agree. All that shit. That's why the Illuminati is necessary. Kinda, sorta.
Purpose in a Dodge.
This is dispatch. Suspect has been spotted at the CBC report.
This was a terrible drive.
Yep. Few for the man. Here's why.
Dispatch.
I could use it in the household. Hey, family, I'm dad. Mom, son, daughter. What do you all want for dinner? I want tacos. I want burgers. I want chicken nuggets. I want... Okay. Now, let's try it this way. Hey, family. Here's what's for dinner. Okay. When one person makes a decision, sometimes it's just a lot better. We'll be arguing for 20 minutes about what to eat before we even narrow it down to 2. Then we got another 20 minutes to argue before we narrow it down some more. So we just lost an hour trying to figure out what the fuck to eat when we could have been using that hour to cook or going to get food. Think of how far humanity has been set back arguing over what's the right decision. To help move us forward. Then at the end of the day, we spent 20 minutes to argue just for somebody to be like, fuck it, this is what we're gonna eat, shut up.
This is dispatch. Visual on the suspect at Lakeshore Quarry. The suspect just lost.
And technically, that's the concept of the Illuminati. You know, they're already gonna argue amongst themselves to begin with. If there's, for the human population, if there's only a handful of people, let's say 10 people that make the decision on how the future is going to go, They're still going to argue amongst those 10 people. But would you rather have 10 people argue or we vote for Trump again? Oh, we did vote for Trump again. The Illuminati, the best thing about the Illuminati is, from what I've pieced together, is that the Illuminati isn't, there's not a set group of people for the Illuminati. If that makes sense. It's supposed to mean the illuminated ones. So the illuminated ones are anybody that have knowledge on a situation. You know, and sometimes you may not know who has the knowledge on the situation. Right. You may not know who has knowledge on the situation. And because you don't know who have knowledge on the situation, you know, it's one of those, if you know, you know. You know, and that makes the Illuminati. Those who do know. Those who don't know just aren't a part of the convo because you don't know. And that's the Illuminati. They all were illuminated on the situation except Dale. Because they all knew. Dale didn't know he was the only one not a part of the Illuminati. If that makes sense. So, the Illuminati will always exist. Who's a member of the Illuminati won't always be known, because if you don't know, you don't know. Right. You just don't, you're not illuminated on the situation. You don't know.
The punk just vanished somewhere on Southland Drive.
Oh, this is my favorite tunnel. Shit. It's on to me.
This is dispatch. Suspect has been spotted at University Central.
Right. It's sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're part of the. You might be part of the execution squad. You might be a part of the jury, and you don't know.
Suspect just pulled a Houdini at University Central.
Because you don't know why, why we're all gathered here today. I'll be weird. You're like, why are we all gathered here today? You know? But something might come up and everybody might be opinionated and versed on a topic. So you never know the fuck the Illuminati is. You don't even know if you're a part of the Illuminati until something might come up and you're like, oh shit, I was there for that. You know what? Wait a minute. Why y'all ain't say that then? You know? So you can't join the Illuminati, you just Illuminati. It takes a group of people to kind of like, we're gonna call them scientists. Scientology. It takes a group of people to create the controlled environment to be like, given these circumstances, this is the results we should get. Ah, I made it. And you know, this is kind of what it is. Take it with a grain of salt because nobody knows why they're here. If they're smart, they'll figure it out. But just given the situation, discussion should happen. Given the right pieces, the discussion should happen. So yeah, there's an Illuminati. You know? It's always an Illuminati. You and your friends having a secret in between y'all. You know, let's say, I don't know. Y'all were talking about somebody's shoes. And you like, their shoes look like lopsided biscuits. Now every time you see the shoes, you're like, biscuits. And your friends start laughing. Now, why the fuck are biscuits funny? Nobody know why biscuits funny but y'all. Y'all are illuminated on the situation. You all have the light of the situation. That's the Illuminati. Now, depending on how big situation, you know, it's different to be like world changing. You know, Illuminati work behind the scenes. Brandon is single. He's beating his dick all the time. You know, I got a friend. All she do is play with herself. They might be good for each other. Let's see if we can hook them up. Without telling them, we're going to try to hook them up. Let's get them in a situation where they, you know, it's mutual and what's the word? It's non-stressful. And see if they click. Right? Now you're setting up two people to meet. And you're like, oh, let's hope it works. That's the same way just about everything works. From governments working together to your job somewhere, you know. We're going to use it in a big effect, government. We have the United Nations. The United Nations is compared to the rest of the world, Illuminati. Here is what we are facing. What is the most common problem we are facing as nations? They have these discussions. Who can't feed their people? They have these discussions. Who is producing the top minds? They have these discussions. The average person don't know shit about it. Know who, what, where, why, when, in order to solve global crisis and global problems. You know, and then they have their groups amongst groups. Things like that. Illuminati. Scientists. Scientists know what's real and what ain't sometimes. And they don't know shit at the same time. That's why you go through experiments. Is the earth really a globe? You know who knows that? Supposedly people that went to space. But we say supposedly because only a handful of people went to space that we're supposed to believe. That people fight and argue and ready to, you know, die for a belief that we don't even know. I'm gonna put it like this. When I was in 8th grade, we knew there was 9 planets.
Looks like we got ourselves a racer here.
Now Pluto's been demoted. So there's only 8 planets. But in high school, we knew of Planet X. A planet beyond Pluto. That's on an isosceles, I think that's what it said, an isosceles orbit around our sun. Now Planet X, now people talking about Nibiru, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's another planet. But we already knew that. Well, I knew that because I read the book. There's already a Planet X. That's a 10th planet. Technically our 9th planet now because Pluto's been demoted. So why is this rogue planet in our galaxy such a surprise? But we don't know because we not out here watching the fucking stars. They covered up the stars a long time ago. We know, but we don't know. We know we live on a planet, but for all we know, Earth could be a moon of the sun. The sun is the only real planet. Everything else is a moon. We argue and we fight about things that we don't know. And only the illuminated ones know that. Like, shit, nigga, I don't know. Flat or round earth. Flat or globe. Nigga, I don't know. I ain't been to space. What the fuck you mean you don't know? My nigga, for all the book smarts, book says it's a globe. But we don't know. Look at the moon. I can't, right? From a distance, we can look at that. Is that flat? Or is it it's not a diamond. Is it a diamond? Is that a diamond shape? Like, it's a diamond shape, but is it flat or is it three-dimensional? We know because we just rolled past it. But if there were to be a point where the clock symbol is, we wouldn't be able to see it. I was gonna say that if we didn't see the corners in that building, a wall looks like it's a two-dimensional object, depending on point of view. You gotta see three sides in order to call it a three-dimensional object. If you only see one side, it's 2D. Looking at this pillar in front of us. It looks flat. We have to see the side to be like it's three-dimensional. Right. Flat. Three-dimensional. Right, we can still see the side. Flat. Three-dimensional. Without seeing all sides, we can't say if it's flat or three-dimensional. So we could look at the moon looks flat. Even when there's a quarter moon, half moon, all that shit, it still look fucking flat. Height, width, and depth. Length, right? Wall look two-dimensional. We're playing a video game that looks 3D on a flat screen. Let that blow your mind. Is the video game three-dimensional or two-dimensional? Blew your fucking mind, didn't I? Because the screen is flat, making everything two-dimensional. Because the screen itself is two-dimensional. But we see on a two-dimensional object, 3D objects.
Got eyes on that driver.
Mind fucking blown, right? But we want to sit here and argue if the world is flat. Now let's talk about falling off the face of the earth. Let's say if you go far enough, you fall off the face of the earth. Is that true or false? True. It's true. It has no choice but to be true if you believe we went to space. We went to the edge of the planet and we went into a different plane of existence. Space. We left the planet, which means that you can fall off the planet if you go far enough. People look at it like falling off the planet is falling off the edge of a cliff. The fact that we could leave the fucking planet, supposedly, because I haven't been, is proof that we can fall off the face of the earth, because we're no longer on the fucking earth. I'm no fucking genius, but I damn sure ain't dumb to know that we don't have the answers and that we all are sheeple. No matter who's in charge, we're sheeple. Everything we know, we have been taught. 98% of the things in textbooks in life, the individual, will never experience. Will never be able to prove. Never, ever, ever. We just have to take it for face value that it's true. Tell me, where do you get table salt from? To fuck your mind up right now to say I'm lying. How many people can tell me where we get table salt from without looking? None. See, now I'm an asshole. Right? Now I'm an asshole. I ain't talking to nobody, but I'm talking to people. You know? Get what I'm saying? None. Without looking it up right now, where the fuck does salt come from? Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to look it up to tell you the fucking answer. I'm like, from a factory, motherfucker. Hey. How do I use my thinking? Where does table salt come from?
Table salt primarily comes from underground salt deposits, which are remnants of ancient oceans. It is typically extracted through mining or solution mining, dissolving the salt with water to create brine, then evaporating the water. It can also be produced by evaporating seawater. After extraction, table salt is processed to remove other minerals and often fortified with iodine.
Underground salt deposits from the remnants of ancient oceans. I'm not even gonna ask how the fuck an ocean dries up. I don't want to know. Be careful what you ask for, and that's not something I want to know. Like, thanks to the one, Be Easy, they're asking a dumbass question. The Atlantic Ocean has just dried up. Right? Imagine the Atlantic Ocean just drying up.
Eyes on the racer here.
That shit is nuts. Everything we've been taught. I'm not saying it's a lie. I'm not saying it's the truth. but Santa Claus. Take you with a grain of salt. That's all I'm saying. Education is necessary. Why is education necessary? Because math is math until math isn't math. You know, we all need to be on the same page. We all need to know the same thing in order to make the next advancement. Math isn't math until math is math. Math is math until math isn't math. Here's what I mean. What's 1 plus 1? 2. Unless you have two halves, which makes a whole. Which means 1 plus 1 equals 1. It's simple stuff like that that make math complicated. Right. 2 halves equals 1. Man and woman equals 1. Under God. They're one entity. You get married, you become one. You all share everything. Name, money, bathrooms. If you eat, she gon' fart. I didn't make the science. It's just how it works. 1 plus 1 equals 1 now. That lady was talking about how 1 plus 1 equals 1 in Korea. And I'm like, it makes sense. Now, 1 household plus 1 household equals 1 household. You don't have 2 households. 2 households join to make 1. So you can't tell me 1 plus 1 don't equal 1, even though 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Got ourselves a racer out here.
Maturity and complexity. Nothing is black and white. Only thing black and white is people. Again, critical thinking. Where the fuck was Asians and Mexicans during the civil rights movement? I ain't never seen a civil rights documentary. And you're like, hey, that's an Asian guy. Why they let the dogs out on the Asian man? And hey, that's a Mexican. Never. I never seen an Asian man talking about I was at the civil rights movement. It had to happen, right? They had to have been there because we were already a mixing pot at that point. But you never seen, you know, during the Million Man March, there were black people and there were white people all together. You look in that crowd, you don't see a fucking Asian anywhere. wow, it's a million man march. Out of all these people, ain't no fucking Asians and Mexicans. How much of history is really real? Like, if you ask me, 100 years from now, you know those riots they said we had, like all these riots we having now, George Floyd and all these injustices, these ICE raids. What they're gonna do 100 years from now is they're gonna put all the footage together and say that it was a civil rights movement, because nobody's around to be like, yeah, fabricated history, which I am not against, but I'm not necessarily for. But okay, again, let's look at how sometimes the math don't be mathing. Where do we live? North America. As Americans, we live in North America. Are Asians taught that this continent is North America? Or are they taught that it's called something else? We have no control over their education system, right? They have a different way of writing, stuff like that. We have no control over their education system. So, at what point did the world decide to call North America North America? At what point did the world, where they say we were all separated, decide to use one map and agree that this is what the shit is called? It's crazy shit to think about. Like, you put too much thought into it. I didn't put any thought into that just now. It just popped in my head, as in how things could be one thing here and something else somewhere else. Like, there's a whole different language, you know? Shoes, zapatos, right? Is that what they call zapatos? How do we if they call shoes zapatos, how the fuck do we know they call North America North America? Is that just an American thing? I go to China, like, where you from? North America. Like, oh, you mean land of the infidels? Because that's just what they call North America. You know what? All this thought is making me tired. Gotta be up at 4:30. Actually, I gotta be up by 4. I gotta be out by 4:30. There's nothing wrong with questioning. Questions lead to answers. Just be careful, because sometimes the rabbit hole goes deep, Alice. You'll lose your head and become mad trying to figure it all out. The key thing to understand is we don't have it figured out. No one has it figured out. You know, no one has it figured out. That's one of the most important things to ever understand. Earth flat or round? No, is it flat or a globe? Because we all know it's round. We can look at the moon. The moon is round. But is it a globe? It is a sphere. Glitch in the Matrix. Deja vu. It's round. So when somebody say, "Is it flat or round?" Like, well, it's flat and round. You get that. That's a viable option. Like, we know it's round. We assume. Like the planet, the pictures of Earth. How do we even know those are pictures of Earth? There could be pictures of another planet.
2440 in our vicinity.
Like what? Did the Earth got a big selfie stick? That's what the moon is. The Earth's selfie stick. Right? Who took the picture of the Earth? Take it all with a grain of salt. The one thing that is for certain, two things actually, we all die. And that's iffy. I don't even want to go into that conversation. And two, we don't know it all. I say death is iffy because it might just be a different plane of existence. For example, we die, we go to heaven or hell, which is still a life. And that life itself isn't infinite. It's finite. The Bible says everybody's going to be judged, and based on the judgment, there will be life here on earth, peace and harmony for 500,000 years type shit. Then those will go to hell. You know, but after that peace on earth, it's implied that there will be an uprising again and this rest. Now, would that be from those people coming back from hell? Or will it be those that are living in harmony just lost their shit? Because they gave a time frame. The Bible gives a time frame. It's going to be peace and happiness from here to here for this long. What happens after that long? Nobody asked the question. It only makes sense that the Rebel Alliance, those in hell, will rebel again against God, and we're going to have civil unrest. All comes back full circle until Jesus come back. And then Jesus, where's my Bible? God, you know where my heart is. For all we know, Jesus is the one that's going to lead people out of hell. Jesus and the devil are one and the same. Why? Because those living in poverty, or those that are less fortunate than others, the person that saved them from this lifestyle is Jesus. But to those that are the haves, that person leading them is the devil.
Dispatch, we got eyes on that racer you had flagged.
Go back to haves and have nots. And where you are on the spectrum. The person that leads the people from the depths of hell into salvation is Jesus. And that person who go against the authority is the devil. But because there is going to be a heaven and a hell, or, you know, there is supposed to be a war, and the haves and have-nots and all of this shit, there's going to be a separation. As long as there's a separation, there's always going to be a rebel alliance. And that's just religion. You know, there's nothing truer than that. As long as there's haves and have-nots, there's going to be somebody, there's going to be a power struggle. That's set in stone, basically. So, grain of salt. You know, grain of salt. Because nobody knows until we know. Is Pluto a planet or not? If Planet X was in history books, why is Nibiru, aka Planet X, being within our solar system, so foreign to people? Right. How long? Right. There's going to be a time of peace, which means after the time of peace, there will be civil unrest. It's implied. It's critical thinking. Like if I say, I'm going to California for a week, what happens after that week? It's a possibility I might stay, but more than likely, I'm gonna bring my black ass back to Chicago. Right? Because I'm only going there for a week. Here's the time frame. Which means it's implied that I'll be coming back. Or if I don't come back, I'll be moving on elsewhere. Because I'm only going to be there 1 week. Conversation so deep, I get in your head. Next thing you know, you're turning over, and I'm in the bed. I got no pickup lines. I stay on the grind. I tell them hoes all the time, bitch, get in my car. I don't know. I just didn't, you know, I'm trying not to be so intense with it, but like, I'm serious. I'm dead serious about this shit. Death is, for all we know, death could be a state of mind. the person we know has just changed so much. I say, was that a spaceship? There's the water tower. I've seen a UFO. Believe it or not. You see how that yellow thing is in the sky? Up there? It was a black circle. Pitch black, like somebody just took a Sharpie and shoot in the sky, and I watched it go across. Like, what the fuck? Nah, it was, when I say pitch black, I ain't never seen no black like that before. I'm like, maybe my dumb ass just look at a solar eclipse or something. But you know how you see images of solar eclipse, you see and even black holes, you see what they call the event horizon, where at the outer edge of the rim there is a bright light because of all the energy and stuff. I didn't see that. I just saw a perfect black ass circle in the sky. It's fucking nuts. I wasn't the only one, or else I'd have been, so I know I'm not crazy. I'm a lot of things. Crazy ain't one of them. Of course, they're going to tell you you're high, you're crazy, when you talk about stuff that, even though they don't know is true, they know is true. Just like the earth is a globe. But you ain't never seen the earth third person, from a different perspective, to say that it's a globe. We all live in North America, if you're American. Okay, even this concept. Americans live on North America. Latin Americans live on South America. And Mexicans live in Central America. But Mexicans aren't American. We'll sit here and argue about something we don't know to be true. Only that we're told is true. She told me that's your baby. Man, that ain't my baby. Shit, that's what she told me. Like, that's your baby. That ain't my baby. That's your baby. That ain't my baby. All because she told me that's your baby. Arguing about something we don't know true. As simple as, is the earth flat or is it a globe? We can't even have, at least leaving this conversation, please tell me that you left this conversation not being able to argue. That you agreeing that you won't argue if the earth is round. Because the earth is round. But is it flat or a globe is the question. A cylinder is round. you know? But is it a globe? I could go outside and look at the moon right now. I can't tell you if that motherfucker is a globe. I can tell you it's round, though. And they tell us, they're like, the moon just don't spin. So we only see the moon from one perspective. Because the moon don't spin, it don't rotate. So we only see the moon from one perspective. But we're sitting here talking about the moon, if the earth is round or not, when we, like, everything in our solar system spins except the fucking moon. The one thing to give us perspective on our own planet don't spin. But our planet's spinning. Nuts. Anyway, I'm done. I'm gonna take my black ass to bed. I got work in the morning. GG. Good game. Gab Games. GabGames.com. I'm Brandon Gordon Gab, and hopefully I've got the brains working a little bit. You know, I can't say enlighten you. I'm not a scientist. I'm not super educated, man. I'm educated enough. But again, grain of salt, because it's not even to challenge what we know. It's for us to think about what we've been told. Santa Claus. At some point, we all believed in Santa Claus. And at some point, we all came to a conclusion Santa Claus isn't real. But then we all pushed Santa Claus onto our children. So Santa Claus itself is, sometimes we lie for the benefit of everybody. Right? Sometimes we lie for a good cause. That's all Santa Claus does, is remind us that sometimes we lie for a good cause. Religions are off the table because religion is the belief, you know. That's why religions are off the table. So because we can't say this about religion, we create Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a fictional character that we can attack and question. Religion run countries. Anyway, GG. Good game, Gab Games, GabGames.com. Talk about it.